Okay, so question number 2, ARTHUS reaction, pathology paper 1, 3 marker. ARTHUS reaction. So what is ARTHUS reaction? ARTHUS reaction is a localized area of tissue necrosis resulting from acute immune complex vasculitis, usually elicited in the skin. So first of all, who is this guy? His name is ARTHUS. And actually his full name is Maurice ARTHUS. He was the first who described this phenomena in 1903. Okay, so what happened was ARTHUS noticed that when an animal was previously sensitized to an antigen, what does it mean? It means it had pre-existing antibodies. Let's suppose anything. Okay, so if it had pre-existing antibodies and after injecting the same antigen into the skin of that animal resulted in a severe localized inflammatory reaction. I'll show you. Zoom in. So yeah, so this is my blood vessel. In the blood vessel, as you can see, all these green dots are nothing but the antigen. They are circulating into the blood vessels, and these Y-shaped things are nothing but the antibodies. So these antigens and the antibodies, they came together and they formed something called as antigen antibody complex. Okay, so they clump together, and these antibodies are coming from where? These are coming from the B cells. B cells are turning into plasma cells, and these plasma cells are producing huge number of antibodies. Alright, so as we have seen here, there is formation of antigen antibody complex. Next, what's happening? This complex goes and deposit on the wall of the blood vessel. See, this is the blood vessel and this is the wall of the blood vessel, and here all these complexes are being deposited. So once these complexes are deposited, then there will be activation of complement system, and once the complement system is activated, then neutrophil will come in and many cytokines will be released, interleukins will be released. So overall this will cause inflammation like redness, then wheal and flare reaction. Alright, so all this is happening because of what? Because of this complex formation. Next, so immune complex mediated inflammation and tissue injury. See, here all the enzymes are released, there is damage in the blood vessel, there is vasculitis. So neutrophil, lysosomal, enzyme and all. Okay, next, so yeah, what is ARTHUS reaction? ARTHUS reaction is localized area of the tissue necrosis resulted by what? Acute immune complex vasculitis, usually that is elicited in the skin. The reaction can produce experimentally by intracutaneous injection of an antigen in a previously immunized animal that contains circulating antibodies against that antigen. As the antigen diffuses into the vascular wall, it binds the preformed antibody and large immune complexes are formed locally. These complexes precipitate in the blood vessel and cause fibrinoid necrosis. Okay, what is fibrinoid necrosis? See here. So this is the blood vessel. Okay, this blood vessel, this is the wall of the blood vessel. So in fibrinoid necrosis, because of the deposition of the immune complex, there was huge inflammation, and along with the inflammation there was deposition of the fibrin, which is already present in the blood, and all this thing causes something called as fibrinoid necrosis, which is irreversible. So this is necrosis, that means cell is dying here. And as you can see the picture, this is the ARTHUS reaction, which is type 3. So how many type of hypersensitivity do we have? Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Type 1, 2, 3, all these are antibody mediated, and type 4 is delayed, which is cell mediated. Okay, so what can you write in the exam? ARTHUS reaction, what type? It is local immune complex mediated, type 3 hypersensitivity. What is the mechanism? Because of the deposition of the antigen antibody complexes on the blood vessel. And clinical presentation, localized inflammation and necrosis, which appears 4 to 12 hours after the antigen exposure. So example is skin reaction following vaccination. That is also one kind of reaction. So why was this important? What is the application of this? To study the immune complex mediated inflammation, type 3 reactions. Okay, So it helps the researchers to study the mechanism of immune complexes like in vasculitis or SLE, rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so it helps the researchers to understand better. That was all.